My name's Verna Ledger. I was born in Cranbrook, British Columbia on November 30th, 1926. I started work in 1953 in the plywood mill, Canadian Forest Products in New Westminster.
This was Verna's first job. She found it difficult getting used to the working conditions in the mill.
You know, when you come from not working at all, and you come into that kind of an atmosphere, and the noise is just tremendous, and to me it was scary because it was so noisy. They didn't even have the earmuffs at that time. But also then you get in where there's a lot of dust, and you can't hardly breathe, and finally they give you a little paper mask or something, and the smells from the resins and all of that kind of stuff, they nearly knock you over. They were so strong, chemically strong smells. I kept thinking, gosh, that can't be very good for you. That sort of became my thing. I guess I started being really interested in what could be done to prevent it.
Eventually, Verna was elected to the mill's safety committee.
When I first got on, I didn't say anything. I just yes and no, and because I was terribly nervous. But when I think about, we could do stuff to stop people from getting injured, and we weren't doing it, well, then I'd get angry, and then I would talk. And then we did talk to people at the board about it, but they sort of said, well, we don't have any information. And I think doctors didn't either. They, for the most part, if you went in and you're having problems with your breathing and that kind of thing, well, they'd look at it, but they didn't ask you what you were exposed to at work. I had to change a lot of people's minds, especially in the woodworking industry, even in the union, about what was possible and was this a big issue, occupational health. They didn't agree at first that it was an issue.
Verna was then elected to the IWA local in New Westminster and began to speak about health and safety at regional conventions.
Verna, as a delegate, speaking on the floor of the convention is where she first got my attention, and very good. She was articulate, she knew what the hell she was talking about, forceful, and the kind of a person is obviously a leader.
I went to a convention in Portland, and Jeannie Stellman, who wrote Work is Dangerous to Your Health, was there and spoke, and that sort of was the big eye-opener for those of us who attended that. I thought, yes, this is what we need. This is, we could go forward and maybe be able to do something, even if it's the smallest thing at first.
It was at this time that the IWA was looking for a new safety director for Western Canada.
Because Verna really impressed me at conventions and involved in safety matters and that, to me, she was a natural person. So I hired her, and she became the safety director, first for Western Canada. Then when we took all of Canada, then she was a safety director for Canada, for the IWA.
I was overwhelmingly supported in it, except for a couple of locals that didn't think a woman could do the job.
I must say I got a bit of flack for it. They were saying, this is a tough industry, tough guy, big guy, whatever. And it turned out exactly the opposite to what a lot of people thought. Verna was tough. She was a woman, and they paid a hell of a lot more attention to Verna than they had to some of the other safety directors. And I would think one of the very best we ever had. And really expanded, other than just accidents and getting killed, the other fields that affected the health of people. And I give her full marks for that. She was very, very good. Very good.
In the late 1970s, Verna traveled to Sweden with a group of other IWA delegates to look at what the industry there was doing to make their mills safer.
It was unbelievable. There was almost no noise. The machines were enclosed. There was no dust. It was such an eye-opener for us because I guess we knew there was problems, but we didn't know there was solutions. And there was obviously solutions. It cost money, but there were solutions.
Still, companies were slow to take occupational health issues seriously.
The employers were a tough bunch. They were interested in production, period. And it was a tough job to educate them that this was also in their interest. It just made them aware that this is kind of the way that responsible industry should operate.
Finally, some companies decided they were going to, they were spending a lot of money on people having illnesses and being away and everything, and they were going to try some things, and they did. And then, I started feeling really good because we were progressing, and the Compensation Board was taking up the issue of occupational health.
It's a better industry to work in. It's cleaner, it's healthier, it's safer, it's recognition by everyone of the importance of safety. And I'm pleased that Verna, I think, made a major contribution to making things better for workers.
Looking back, I guess I do feel a sense of pride now. It took a while, but when you put it all together, yeah, I think I did do some things that were pretty good.